After months of anticipation, the second stimulus check is arriving, and boy, the great news is abounds. Major breaking news tonight on Evenings LLA. Thank you for joining me direct from Los Angeles. It's just a little bit after 6 o'clock on the West Coast here in Los Angeles. Hope you are good where you are. And boy, we have big, exciting news across the board on your second stimulus check, your third stimulus check, your Cash Act battle for a stimulus check, and your state stimulus. So much across the board. I thank you for joining me on a big night with exciting, great news left and right, and so much to detail. This is a jam-packed video. In fact, this will be one of two live videos tonight. I'll be going live on I'm live in this video. I'll be going over in this video your second stimulus check, your third stimulus check, your Cash Act check battle, and then I will be coming back live right after that with Purple Power Live to go over your state stimulus. This is rent, utilities, food, and more. So a lot coming up in this 1 hour. This is the first half hour broadcast will be 30 minutes, and I'll be back with another 30-minute show. I'm just starting, and thank you for joining me. What a night it is. If you've not subscribed, please do. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe. 80 million views in 8 months. Can you imagine? Just insane. So please subscribe. Now a 24-hour news channel. After Evenings LALATE and Purple Power, I'm back here at 1 a.m. with EIDL on the West Coast at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then 2 o'clock in the morning is PUA overnight to LALATE, and then returning with early mornings LALATE. Wow, what a day it is. So please subscribe. Hit the alert button and also like this video. In this video, I'm going to go over first the second stimulus check. I'll be doing that from now to about the 10-minute mark. Then I will be doing from the 10 to 20-minute mark the third stimulus package. Excuse me, the 10 to the 20-minute mark. I'm going to go over the $2,000 stimulus check battle, the Cash Act battle. And then from the 20 to the 30-minute mark, I'm going to go over the third stimulus package because it's just around the corner. So I want you to get ready. And what's important for you to understand is that you might be getting the check now for second stimulus, but there's 1,000 other things for you to be getting. And so you got to stay with me. I'm going to ensure you get all this moolah from left and right. All right, the first thing is the second stimulus check, and we're simulcasting Instagram tonight. The second stimulus check is landing in millions of viewers' accounts today, this afternoon, this morning, and again tomorrow. Yesterday, Steve Mnuchin confirmed the second stimulus check has electronically been sent. So by electronic receipt, it generally takes anywhere from 1 to 3 business days to receive it. Most banks are 1 day, but most other banks could be 2 days. So you could see it pending tomorrow if it's not pending now. Electronic receipt is insured for people who receive their SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits electronically every month and are not adult dependents. You would be getting the stimulus check electronically. Then if you pay your taxes electronically, you would also be getting the stimulus check electronically. If you don't, then you're getting it by paper check, and the paper check is on the way, and the paper check will be arriving in the end of the week, early next week. Who's getting a check? Single individual, $600. Married couple, $1,200, double check. Children, $600. Family of 4, $600, $600, $600. No adult dependent gets a stimulus check under the second stimulus package. What is an adult dependent? It means that someone who appears on someone else's tax return. And there you go. The stimulus check is not taken out for child support, not taken out for debt collections, not taken out for bankruptcy as well. Very, very easy breezy. Issues about tracking the check, wondering about the check, where is it, things like that. Let me go over that right now. The Where Is My Check app on irs.gov is currently down, but will be up later this week. By that time, you should have electronically received your check. There is no way to change anything with IRS. So to make that very clear, you can't change the bank account with IRS. You can't update the number of children. You cannot do a non-filer filing now. You can't change anything. So whatever they have is whatever they're going off of, and that's what it is right now. It's too late to update. Too late to update. I had reported that in July, and there was a reason why I said it over and over again for weeks on end. I said, do not wait. You won't get the check. And the donut guy, who became a caricature on this channel, will not be getting a stimulus check because there is literally no time to update with the IRS. And there you go. If you're on SSI and SSDI, or you're in a certain type of town, or you're in a certain type of this, don't presume that makes a negative factor for you to get a check. It doesn't. The only thing that impacts your receipt of the check and when is your bank of choice. Some banks are fast, some banks are slow. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with whether you're wearing a baseball cap or not wearing a baseball cap. Some people get checks faster because they chose a certain bank over another bank. It's just that simple. That is your second stimulus check update. Now, SNAP benefits, which really was a big video earlier today, are going live with an increase on January 1 to June, end of June. 15% increase for SNAP benefits per person. And if you're not on SNAP, they're encouraging you to get on SNAP. It's very easy. It's supplemental nutrition assistance program. And I think in that recording, I forgot to include the word additional sometimes when I was saying numbers. So I want to say the numbers again. I think I misspoke a few times. So a person will generally receive $24 more per month per person. And that could mean an individual could get up to $234 a month. A family could get up as much as $782 through June. In Hawaii, the monthly benefits for a family of four could be $1,440. This is all incredible, great news. It's all automatic if you're already on SNAP, but if you're not on SNAP, they're encouraging you to get on it because it's there for you. They want you to use the services. Really great news. FPUC and UI and PUA, the questions I often get are the next big question. That's the next thing that would likely land in people's bank accounts. Your UI and your PUA may currently be inactive, but they will switch from inactive to active by your state's unemployment website, how they do it. Every state's going to be different. And when they switch you from inactive to active, then you want to ensure that you certify for benefits. When you certify for benefits, then you're teeing yourself up to receive your next week of benefits. FPUC, the $300 a week created under the second stimulus package, would be paid on top of your UI and PUA. You don't have to do anything for FPUC. You don't have to apply for FPUC. You don't have to certify anything for FPUC. It's automatic. It goes on top of your UI and your PUA. And it continues to March 14th. I'll be discussing retroactive FPUC at the 10-minute at the 20-minute mark in this video when I go over third stimulus check and third stimulus package. All right, so I have been reporting for a while, and I want to repeat it again tonight, that your last week of unemployment assistance for the month of December, the first week of January and the second week of January, may be delayed if you are in a state with old computers. Those benefits may be delayed, and as a result, you may not get paid on time. And ultimately, I hope I'm wrong, but I want you to be prepared financially for the first week of January, because if you're inactive and they're switching you back to active, you may be delayed shortly. So there you go. That is unemployment. The next thing that will be kicking in is farmers and ranchers will get an additional stimulus check just for them. It's not clear. It's not clear how they get their check, but it looks like it may come in the form of an EIDL grant. And the EIDL grant for everyone for inner city is also opening up in the next few days. These are for businesses in the inner city. And with that, so much developments across the board. As promised at the 10-minute mark, I'm now going to cut back over and go over what's going on in your $2,000 stimulus check battle. And there'll be an update to this video at the top of at the 15-minute mark to get you up to date on what the breaking news is tonight. So for the $2,000 stimulus check battle, it really is heating up in the Senate. And it's as simple as two people not getting along. And it's also as complicated as not figuring out how to go from A to B. It's too hard to sit back and say, we know what's going to happen in the Senate because we don't know. There are procedurally too many things at issue in the Senate. Some of those procedures are in dispute. Some people say you can do something, some people you say you can't. And what's going on is a battle over what I believe is the eligibility of the $2,000 stimulus check. We now see that the $2,000 stimulus check, if it was just that, would pass tomorrow. It would pass literally tomorrow. The problem is that the Cash Act, which landed from the House in the Senate, is again too big. It's too big. And because it's too big, it's causing some detraction. When I first reported the Cash Act, which I think was, I don't know what day it was now, 3 days ago, and I told you, oh my God, what is this? This is incredible. This is overwhelming. This is not what we expected. We also sort of saw the reactions the next morning on Early Mornings LALATE, which is always every day at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The reaction from Early Mornings LA viewers in the comments was never going to happen. Never going to happen. It's too much. It's too much. It's overblown. It's overdone. It's just, who wrote this? This is just overkill. And that was the reaction then when $2,000 was not a mainstream number. Now it's a mainstream number, but the eligibility is still seen as overdone. There's a lot of confusion going over this eligibility, and I'm not going to get too much into it. But a lot of Republicans who are more moderate, like Susan Collins, says, I want to give you $2,000. I'll give you $2,000 tomorrow. $2,000 is fine. $2,000 is fine if you made $49,000 or less last year. I'll give you $2,000 in 10 seconds. Call the vote. I'm ready for the vote on it. But she says, why does this look like you can get a $2,000 stimulus check? You made $230,000 last year. She said a family of four that made $250,000 is getting an $8,000 stimulus check. She said, in her own words, she said $250,000 is rich where I'm from. $250,000 and you're getting an $8,000 stimulus check. What's going on here? And she has an absolute valid point. There's something strange in the wording for Nancy with her wording, that is causing confusion. And because the bill went really big, it's losing traction because of the wording. And you would have actually seen it pass by now. And that's where we are. The President of the United States wants a $2,000 stimulus check for adults, wants a $2,000 stimulus check for children. The President of the United States never said a $2,000 stimulus check for adult dependents, and never said a $2,000 stimulus check retroactively for adult dependents. This was add-ons from Nancy. They're worthy. They're great. They should be in there. They are wonderful provisions, but they weren't what were asked at this time. How do I say it in another way? There's some things that you're supposed to ask for, but this was not the time to ask for them, potentially, because a lot of people were agreeing upon a certain thing, and that certain thing didn't include that. So Nancy Pelosi threw a little bit more than she should have thrown in there to get it approved, and now it's getting detractors. Now the other rub to it is this version, that when Nancy Pelosi wrote it, or whoever wrote the bill, really, I always put Nancy's name to it, is that they, in my heart of hearts, thought it would never get passed, that this was a setup to make the Republicans look bad and lose the Georgia Senate races. Write it a enormous bill, make them look all silly, have them all say no, and then run commercials saying they don't want to give you a stimulus check, and let's take Georgia. It backfired because suddenly the two Georgia incumbent Republicans came out in favor of it. And Mitch McConnell suddenly said he would give you a $2,000 stimulus check. And Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio and even Mitch McConnell. Suddenly, the idea to use $2,000 as a way to win the Senate backfired to Nancy Pelosi. And so what you have now is a bill that could get passed if it was tinkered. And there you are. Now that we come up on the 15-minute mark, I'll have more about the battle between the Cash Act and the Lobster Bills bill. But let me give you a big update across the board. This is LA. Thank you for joining me on the midpoint of the evening's LA Check video. Wow, what a night it is. Direct from Los Angeles, I'm LA. Thank you for joining me. It's cooler. It's cool outside. It's not that hot, actually. The window's open. The nice breeze is kicking in. I'm here, you're here, and boy, millions of viewers are seeing a check in their account. A $600 stimulus check under the CARES Act 2 that was signed by the president last Sunday has now landed in some viewers' accounts last night, some accounts this morning, some accounts this afternoon. Some show pending, some show available funds. And if you're not one of those people, then the electronic receipt could come as early as tomorrow if you're signed for electronic receipt. $600 for individuals, $1,200 for married couple, $600 for children, up to a family of four. If you're on SSI and SSDI and not an adult dependent and do get electronic receipt of your funds, it would be there as well. If you have a payee for SSI, it would be in your payee's account. It's not taken out for child support. It's not taken out for debt collections. It's not taken out for back taxes. And there you go. Meantime, a battle is ensuing in the Senate about the $2,000 add-on. The $2,000 would basically say, hey, you got 600, we're going to give you 1,400 to get you to 2,000. Again, an additional 1,400 to get you to 2,000. And so where are we on that? Getting back to that, the Cash Act and the McConnell Lobster Bill are conflicting in the adult dependent subject. McConnell does not pay adult dependents because the president didn't talk about adult dependents, and McConnell does not pay retroactive checks to adult dependents because the president didn't talk about that either. But McConnell adds in some insane, stupid stuff that have nothing to do with stimulus, and the president asks for it, and that's sort of silly. Just because the president says it doesn't mean you have to put it in there. Remember, the president said to take out the aid for foreign countries. They left it in there. And remember, the president said take out the money for the museums. They left that in there. So it is not a time and place in an emergency bill to do that. But what will happen next? Too hard to tell. But this is what I want you to really focus on. The obstruction of other events in the Senate may cause the Cash Act to get voted on. Ultimately, there's a group of people who may not get paid very, very soon, and they may start shouting and screaming. And who are they? The military. The defense budget is set to expire in just a few days if they don't finish it. And for the first time in 60 years, there would be no budget for the U.S. military. That is where we now sit. And they're using your stimulus check as a hijack. They're using your stimulus check by hijacking the defense bill to say basically a reverse version of what we originally said. Remember, shut down or stimulus? This is basically shut down the defense or stimulus. It's a delicious move. And as it gets closer and closer, we'll see if it works. Ultimately, there's been a lot of mixed messages. Bernie Sanders has been accused of saying things and not following through, folding like a chair. I'm not the only one that said that. It's been in a lot of broadcast reports this last few days. And that the threat of keeping senators in town on New Year's Eve is not an incredibly horrible threat because it's New Year's Eve. It's not like Easter. It's not like it's Christmas. It's New Year's Eve. I mean, it's not like someone's going to the club on New Year's Eve. So it's not the most horrific threat. But, and I don't think Mitch was going to go to the nightclub on New Year's Eve anyway. So it's like, what was Mitch going to do on New Year's anyway? Just, dance with some lobsters? What was he going to do? Paint his hands? I mean, what was Mitch going to do on New Year's Eve? I don't think he was going to do anything. So you're keeping Mitch in D.C. as a threat? Okay, that doesn't sound much of a threat. But that's where we are. The Senate would remain open until they get this done. And now with that, as we come up on the 20-minute mark, as promised, I love how I give myself guidance so I keep track of where I am. I want to cut now to third stimulus check and third stimulus package because a lot of people are now getting refocused on what's coming next. Third stimulus check and third stimulus package, which is the new hit show on afternoons LA, details what's coming in Biden's stimulus. This is in January. It's important for you to know what's next because there's going to be a very, very short period of time of just about 2 weeks, and then suddenly the hit is going to just go left and right. The hashtag campaign for Twitter tonight, of course, is still hashtag stimulus check 2000. Hashtag stimulus check 200. It still remains the hashtag campaign, along with Purple Power and LALATE. The third stimulus check and third stimulus package would give you incredibly great stuff. Ultimately, a lot of these are dependent upon the Senate falling to the Democrats, but they are the following: $2,400 if you're on SSI and SSDI, plus a 20% increase lifetime, and a new benchmark that would tie your benefits to something different than COLA. Next, multiple stimulus checks until the pandemic's over. Then, FPUC retro, which Biden has promised over and over again, $600 a week, back to when FPUC 1 expired in late July. Next, EIDL grant, the remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant, EIDL loan increases, and more. Another round of PPP, hazard pay, $10,000, essential workers, January of last year, all the way up to 60 days after the pandemic ends. So much rent aid, food aid, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and additional things as well. And ultimately, this is just really good news. But the key is whether or not the Senate falls to the GOP, to goes blue, or Atlanta goes blue, or it does not. And you're starting to see a lot of twists and turns with McConnell saying, "I'll give you $2,000. I'll give you $2,000." You have the two incumbents out of Georgia saying, "I'll give you $2,000. What's the problem? I'll give you $2,000." And there you go. It's just really, really hitting hard and fast. Ultimately, I see a couple of comments from people saying that, saying negative things about third stimulus check and third stimulus package. A lot of these things take time to marinate. It was no less than a month ago that no one wanted to give you a penny for stimulus during the holidays. It was no less than 2 weeks ago that no one wanted to give you a stimulus check. And it was no less than 4 days ago that no one wanted to give you more than $600. In fact, I could go read the early morning's LA comments from Monday where people said $2,000 never going to happen. No one's going to support $2,000. In fact, I was making videos trying to count out how many people would support $2,000. One, maybe there's two people, maybe there's three people. So things change very quickly. And I don't want you to sit back and say, no, because things move very quickly. One of the things you know me, I don't like to talk about negative news, but one of the things hitting very quickly tonight is a South African strain of the coronavirus. They've now confirmed that among the different strains that have been identified, the new mutations of the COVID-19 virus, the one out of South Africa, they believe is not blocked by the vaccine. This is the first shocking news that they've heard. The ones identified in England, in London, and the one identified in San Diego this afternoon, the new mutations of the virus, they believe that the current vaccine can be modified to battle against it. But they think that the one out of South Africa is so much a mutation that the current vaccine does not work at all and cannot be modified against it. So this is where things get very scary very quickly. And as things get scary and move very quickly, in a universe in which we travel around, people are still flying, people are still moving, things just change. And if you want to read about that, go on to CNBC. The article is just shocking. And this is all in just less than a week that we've been hearing about these mutations about the virus. So there you go. Now at the 24-minute mark, let me see what else I want to cover. Oh, let me go over what else is in second stimulus that I want you to get ready to do. There's about 2,000 people in the room. And what I want you to know is, I love you dearly, And when you get a stimulus check of $600 in your bank, I don't want you to sit back and think, I'm done, I'm good. Because there's so much more for you to get under the second stimulus that's for you, that is for you. It's moolah for you, that I want you to get ready to get it. And the applications are going to come live. They're going to start. And I'm going to say, hey, go get this one, go get this one. This is how you fill out the application. You go to A and you say no, you say yes. I want you to get ready for all these things, because these things are going to hit like a wrecking ball, like a Miley Cyrus video. And the ones that are going to hit are PPP, EIDL for inner city grant, um, rent, free broadband, free utilities, and free child care for low income families. And then ranchers and farmers for their stimulus check. All these things are going to hit really, really quickly. None of them are automatic. I mean, none of them are just land in your bank account. All of them you have to apply for. These are all things you have to apply for. You have to type. That's my version of typing. You have to type. You have to, get on the phone call. I like to apply for this. You can't sit back and say, just tell what's in my bank account, because it doesn't. It's moolah for you. And these are things that are big money. For example, earlier today, I announced on the channel that in California, they announced today the starting of a free business grant across the entire state. Business grant. This is for businesses and it's free money. So these things hit really quickly. And the reason why I want you to be on top of it is because when this hits, because now they're not live yet, they're not live. I see, like Terry's great question, how do I get it? Not live yet. But when these things hit, I want you to be first in. I want you to be first in because you're gonna have to do that. And then you have to get ready for third stimulus, because third stimulus will just be a few weeks later. And you're like, I'm exhausted applying for things, LA. Well, guess what? Moolah, 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 moolah. It's just going to keep on hitting. This is not your grandma's stimulus channel from a month ago, where just like, is anything gonna ever happen? It's like, is anything ever gonna happen for stimulus? It's like, you're gonna see one thing, and then apply. Oh, there's nothing I can apply for that. Oh, there's nothing I can apply for that. You're just gonna see things after things after things you have to apply for, and there's gonna be money flying everywhere. And I don't want you to be one of those people like, I didn't know there was that thing. What is that thing? No one told me about that thing. It's just like EIDL back in May, where March, people didn't know what it was, and by May they were too late and it was gone. So I don't want you to be late on it. There you go. Oh, thank you for the comments of the shirt. So now as we come up on the 30-minute mark, what a day it has been. I'm coming back again, of course, right after this video. 5 minutes after this video, stay on the channel and refresh the channel, because I'll be back live with you again with another 30-minute video on state stimulus. Free rent, free utilities, free food, and more. I want you to get it, because the first week of January is going to be a tight week for moolah. How am I staying safe for COVID-19? I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I'm not going to Mitch's nightclub on New Year's. So I was invited. To the Lobster Fest, do the lobster dance. And no, I'm not going. Thank you for the invite, Mitch. I'm just not into lobsters music. It's just not my thing. So that's how I keep it easy breezy. Now, as you come up on the 30-minute mark, let me give you an update as we sit here tonight. And the hashtag campaign is hashtag stimulus check 2000, as in 2000. The big update as you sit here tonight is that millions of Americans are getting their stimulus check today, tomorrow, or yesterday. That's a $600 stimulus check is finally coming. This is the second stimulus check. Let's keep track of which one's which. This is the second stimulus check, the second. $600 for individuals, $1,200 for a married couple, $600 for children, up to a family of four. If you're an adult dependent, you're not getting a stimulus check. It's not taken out for child support. It's not taken out for taxes or bad debt. The stimulus check is coming electronically. If you get anything electronically, like your Social Security, your railroad benefits, your veterans benefits, your SSI or SSDI, every bank has different processing times. The longest processing time you could expect generally is about 3 business days. So today is the first business day. Tomorrow is the second business day. The third business day would be January 2nd. And there you are. The paper checks are being mailed already, and the paper mail checks may arrive by the end of this week, starting next week. All incredible, great news. But the other news is the battle for the $2,000 stimulus check. that battle is far from over, and the bill is not dead yet. It's alive as long as it's more alive than Mitch's lobsters. I mean, it's just it's bouncing around more than Nancy's hairstyle. The bill is sitting in the Senate, and ultimately you're going to see arguments and arguments and arguments about it. I believe there'll be a vote sometime by the end of this week, and then potentially another vote next week. And the bill is being anchored upon another bill that expires earlier that is more important. That other bill is funding the U.S. Department of Defense. Can you imagine 65 years, 60 years, they have never gone without a bill. This would be the first time that they suddenly have no money. So we started the hashtag campaign, hashtag stimulus check or shutdown. It's starting to look like hashtag stimulus check or defense shutdown. And that's where we're heading. The idea is to say we're not going to give you your defense bill if you don't give us a stimulus check. And ultimately, the battle is not so much the amount. People are now on point for the $2,000. It's the eligibility of the check, because the Democrats want to have the check being paid to adult dependents now and retroactively because they didn't get a first one, and the Republicans don't. And there you go. What a night it is. I'll be back live in just about 2 minutes on Purple Power Live. Join me then. Keep it easy breezy. Go to the front channel, subscribe. Also hit the alert button so you get alert when I go live, like in a minute from now. So you can test it right now if you've never just hit that alert button. And then like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay LA for more.